I only have ever done marijuana, but I have once every now and then tried some other things, ice,
Okay.
stuff like that. I bought this pre-roll from this flea market from this dude who was selling THC products,
Okay.
and me and my younger brother, we smoked it at our house, and I ended up finding out later at the hospital that I was laced from that, and it was not good. I mean,
What was inside of it?
They said it was fentanyl, but I noticed after that incident, it's like I grew a really high tolerance to weed and stuff.
Okay.
Probably because the fentanyl was stronger than the weed, and it boosted my tolerance. I mean, that makes me want to quit, but it's like I'm holding on to it so tight that I can't quit. I'm not even really trying.
What's up, YouTube? Top Flight USA back with another one. How you doing, young lady?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I like your outfit.
Thank you.
Okay, well, you got the all black on.
Yes.
What is that for? Like, is that like gothic or something?
Well, it's originally my style, but today is kind of a pretty dark day for me, so I chose to wear all black. Today marks 7 years since my grandma has passed away.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to hear about that. So is that what you mean by a pretty dark day?
Yeah, I mean, today's going so far so good, but, just thinking about her a lot today, and I'm trying to make it through the day the best way I can.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that. Your grandmother must have been a very important person to you.
Yeah, she was. She's the one who raised me pretty much my whole life, and she took care of me, and she was the one who had custody of me and all that stuff, and she had a pretty tragic death, and it was a lot. It all happened out of nowhere, and no one was expecting it.
Wow. Can I ask what happened?
Well, they said she had a heart attack because we were all outside in the yard, and she went to go sit in her car, and that's when she kind of passed out. And when she went to the hospital, they said it was a heart attack because she passed away later that night. But there's a lot of evidence tolling it in to my grandpa having something to do with it.
Oh, wow.
And we're right now fighting a case against him that has something to do with her death, because there's a lot of evidence and all that stuff that we're connecting dots to that all kind of leads up to him in the end.
Wow.
So.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear about that. I met you here at the multi-service center.
Yes.
What is your situation?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm currently homeless right now.
Okay.
But I am doing things to, try to help me out, and looking for a job and work and trying to get back in school and do all that stuff.
You said you guess you're homeless. What does that mean?
Well, I don't have a home per se to myself or whatever to stay in.
Okay.
But sometimes we stay with, me and my fiance, we usually stay with friends and family friends and whatever, and
okay,
all that stuff. But sometimes we're out here if the situation is bad and we have nowhere to go, or our friends won't let us stay. Sometimes we'll stay outside, but...
Okay. All right. Well, let's just start from the beginning. What's your name, age, and where you from?
My name is Nina Wilson. I am 18 years old. I actually turned 19 in 17 days. And I'm from Augusta, Georgia, the Richmond County area.
You from Augusta, Georgia? Okay, all right. Shout out to Augusta. Is that South Georgia?
Yes.
Okay. It's close by Florida?
It's probably like...
by Savannah?
Yeah, we're in the Savannah area, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, shout out to Augusta. What brings you to North Carolina?
Well, in Georgia, is where I was in foster care, and I was actually staying in a group home out in Georgia, and I actually got a connection with who I thought my biological father was, because that's the man that my mother said was my father. And there was no DNA test to prove that we were biologically or genetically related.
Okay.
But I got in touch with him. We talked. I told him my situation. And then me, him, and my mom all talked. And I decided to sign myself out of foster care to go be with him.
Okay.
To go live with him because I thought that life would benefit me better than foster care, which I was wrong in a lot of ways. I didn't really think the situation through all the way.
And how was you wrong?
First I should have seen that it was very weird because in order for me to go live with him, he wanted me to be out of foster care. He didn't want like the foster care or DFAC system anywhere like at the house or involved with him or whatever. And I was like, that's weird because what are you doing at the house? And
so I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's interesting. You signed yourself out of foster care.
Yes.
So they were still involved with you after you signed yourself out?
They was involved for like the day of and then a few days after just to like check back and everything.
Okay.
But right when I signed out, my caseworker gave me this big stack of papers and told me I was free to go. But he did give me his contact information and told me if I needed anything to call him because he thought it was weird too. And I later found out who I'm gonna call my dad did not want anything with defects involved. I also had younger siblings who were already there with him.
Okay.
And who I later met on and grew like a relationship with. But it wasn't like a kid-friendly environment. It was a really messy house. Clutter everywhere. There wasn't really a lot of food in the house. There was a lot of drugs, and my dad even provided us minors with those sorts of things. Like he bought us vapes, drugs, all that stuff.
Now, was you doing any of that stuff before you got there?
I had a history of drug use, which started probably when I was 12, which was 1 year after my grandma passed.
Wow.
And I took on drugs because I just didn't know how to cope with life. And I heard all these cool things about how drugs help you and makes you calm down and all that stuff. So I tried it and it became an addiction.
Okay.
I was in and out of drug therapy, in and out of hospitals and all that stuff, but yet nothing seemed to help. I got off of it for about 2 or 3 years and then came out here, and it's like an everyday thing now.
Wow. 12 years old. What got you started on drugs? Who got you started?
Well, that's when I had just started middle school, and all the kids were just bragging about it, and some were even sneaking stuff into school. And
so it was almost like a peer pressure thing?
Yeah, and they were like, you should try this, because I was expressing my feelings to them and saying, hey, yo, like, I'm just going through a lot, and I don't feel like I have anyone to talk to. And they were like, here, just try this. It just relaxes your mind and helps you and makes you feel at ease. And like after that, it became like a constant thing. Like every time I was with them, I would be doing it, and I started to notice I'm only doing this thing when I'm with those people. So maybe I need to try to distance myself from those ones who are negatively impacting me. And I managed to do it at first, but it just became harder because I guess after doing it for so long and then not doing it, just stopping, it's just like those withdrawals and stuff, and it makes you feel sick and like you can't live without it.
Right. So what type of drugs was you on?
I only have ever done weed, marijuana, but I have once every now and then tried some other things, ice, stuff like that, but I would never do those again. Those are not fun. And there's another reason, that makes me want to quit, but it's like I'm holding on to it so tight that I can't quit. I'm not even really trying, even though I want to. But about a year ago, I bought this pre-roll from this flea market from this dude who was selling THC products, and me and my younger brother, we smoked it at our house, and I ended up finding out later at the hospital that I was laced from that, and it was not good. I mean,
What was inside of it?
They said it was fentanyl.
Okay.
Because like my heart stopped. They had to give me Narcan and CPR and all types of other stuff. And
Wow.
it was a hard experience for me to go through. But
did that ever give you a fentanyl addiction?
No.
Okay. So you didn't try it again?
No, but I noticed after that incident, it's like I grew a really high tolerance to weed and stuff.
Okay.
Probably because the fentanyl was stronger than the weed and it boosted my tolerance.
Right.
So now when I get high, it's like I'm still functional. I still could do everyday things normally and all that stuff. The only thing it does for me now is just relaxes me and just keeps me calm around others.
Do you feel like you need weed to cope with your situations?
I mean, a lot of times I do, but like if it's in a stressful moment, I'm like, oh my God, I need it right now because I'm so stressed and there's nothing else I can do.
Okay.
But then when I get high and then I'm not high no more, I'm just like, that was just like a Band-Aid over a wound. It's not doing anything for me. It's just covering it up, masking it for a period of time. But eventually all that pain is going to come back. And that's what sucks.
Have you ever went to a doctor before?
Yes, I've actually been to several doctors and several mental institutions because I have a lot of mental issues and from my past. And
may I ask, what have you been diagnosed with?
So I have OCD, bipolar depression, ADD, ADHD, PTSD. I have just a mix of everything. And I mean, I've been to several places and it's either they give me medication that I've already had that just isn't working. They give me too much medication and it makes me just tired to where I can't function at all during the day. And all I want to do is sleep and not talk to anyone. Or they give me not enough medicine and I can't control it.
Wow. So that was going to be my next question is how does the medicine work for you?
Yeah, it's
so
just
right now, the medication that you have.
I'm currently not taking any medication.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, is that good or bad?
I guess not taking it has benefits for both sides because some things in the medicine, like especially with all the problems I had together, and they had to give me all those different medications, and I was taking things for several different things all at once. It wasn't really mixing well in my system, and it was making me drowsy and tired. I couldn't focus during the day or do anything, and that's what I did not like about it, because I want to be able to be up and do things and interact with people and do the stuff that I have to do. And then
I interviewed a young lady that said the same thing. She said the medicine almost did a complete opposite to her.
Yeah, sometimes
than what it's supposed to do.
Sometimes it does that. It's just like how people with ADHD, when we drink, like, and this, a lot of people with ADHD have said this, and I guess it's scientifically proven. I looked it up. I don't know, but when we drink like energy or caffeine, it gives us a little bit of energy, but then it makes us really tired because we already have that ADHD that makes us hyper, so it's gonna just make us tired.
Right. You mentioned that you aged out of foster care. Well, you didn't age out. You signed yourself out.
Yes.
Where was your mother at?
At the time, I wasn't allowed to talk to my mom until I turned 18.
Okay.
Because we had a restraining order until I reached 18, which is the age limit to when I can do whatever I want, because I'm an adult. But I think I was put on the restraining order with my mom when I was about 13, because of an incident happened where I had a phone and I was secretly talking to my mom when I wasn't supposed to be, and she was causing me a lot of issues because my mom, she tends to bring her own problems to me.
Okay.
And she talks about her issues to me as I'm more of a best friend to her than her daughter.
Right.
So, and then that brings a lot of toll on me because I'm worried about her, and while I'm also worried about my own situations.
Okay. Are they too loud for you right now? Okay. Did you try to have a relationship with her when you was 18?
I've tried on several occasions. When I got out of foster care, I found out in South Carolina that my mom was living in Georgia, and we were only about 35-minute drive apart.
Wow.
So I tried to text her, and I was like, "Hey, whenever you want to see me, just let me know. We could plan like a date or something, or plan a place to hang out, or just give us like bonding time." And she was either too busy or didn't want to or didn't have money. And I told her, I was like, it's not about money. I don't care about that. We could literally go sit at a park and just talk all day.
Right.
You could tell me things that I don't know about you, and I could tell you things that you don't know about me, and we could just grow a relationship. But she wasn't really wanting to do it, and that hurt me. And then...
Was it a reason why?
No. I mean, if there was, she never said anything. But then another thing is, when she wasn't on her medicine, she would flip out at me and say stuff and all that stuff, and sometimes she would say she wished she never had me, or I was an accident or whatever, and then the next thing you know, she's just being nice and saying she loves me and she wants to see me again, but she wasn't really putting any effort into it.
Right. How did that make you feel when she told you things like that?
I mean, it hurt, but at the same time, I'm like, but it's a choice you made. You didn't have to do what you did that night to have me. You chose to, and you knew what the outcome could have been.
Right.
And here I am.
Have you ever got the chance to tell your mom how you felt?
I have. It was probably when I was 12, and I was at her house, and she was outside, and the neighbors were there too to support me, because they know how I get, because I had a lot of anger, and I used to just throw stuff and hit people and all that stuff because I got so angry.
Okay.
And I wasn't on medicine at the time. So, because over the phone with my mom and my auntie, and I was in the backseat of my auntie's car, and I heard her say that she was just a mistake, and that whole night was an accident that I didn't need to happen. And so when I got to her house, I just explained to her, I was like, you don't understand how this makes me feel. You chose to do something that you knew were like what the consequences were gonna be, and like you still do these things to this day. Like, she chose a man and to live with a man to be able to have a place to stay, rather than take care of her own kids and try to get custody back. And
wow.
It's just a lot. And she still does these things to this day, and I don't...
Wow. I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
Yeah.
I know it was a lot, because you mentioned that happened when you was 12. That was the same age you went to foster care.
Yeah, it was actually, I think I had that conversation with her either, if not the day before or 2 days before I got taken away by defects.
Wow.
So everything just kind of happened all together, and it was hard.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
What type of child were you in school? Were you able to finish high school?
No, because I didn't have enough credits to get to the next grade, but I did have enough credits if I wanted to go ahead and drop out and do my GED, and that was an option for me.
Okay.
So I went ahead and dropped out I think it was in 11th grade. I dropped out in the beginning of 11th grade, and I went to GED, and it was pretty easy. It was one of those things that you can get done at your own pace. They'll help you work through it, give you whatever like stuff you need to be able to achieve that goal of getting your GED. And as long as you put forth effort, they will help you put forth effort too. So
were you able to finish?
No, I wasn't able to finish because I moved from Georgia to South Carolina, so I had to stop that. And then I went back about a few months ago to do my GED in Augusta Tech. And
Yeah, he tripped over that thing. He fell pretty hard too. I'm sorry.
I went back to Augusta Tech to do it, and I also couldn't finish there because I also moved again. So I mean, right now, I think what I'm just gonna mainly focus on is the studying part before I actually try to go back and do stuff, because I feel like it'll be faster if I go ahead and study. So when I go to take, because how it goes is when you first start your GED, they make you take tests for each subject to see what you already know, so they'll go ahead and skip over that and you can just do what you need to know. And then I think it'll be best if I go ahead and study and then take the test so I can get a majority of the stuff that I already know down, and then they only help me with a little bit that I need to know.
Right. Okay. You're here at the multi-service center, is that what it's called? And you said you're here with your fiance?
Yes.
Is your fiance working at the moment?
Not currently at the moment. One of his friends, his boss is working a thing because he's getting new workers and they just do like construction and stuff, and they're trying to get him to get in there and do all that. And he's trying to go to this thing called staff zone, where you go like probably like 4 or 5 in the morning and you get there and the job collects certain people. It's usually first come first served.
Okay.
So, and then they take you to like a job site. They have multiple job sites and they take you there and you work for half the day or almost all day. And they give you all a credit card too, and it's automatic. The money you make each day is automatically loaded, and I think it's anywhere between 75 to 100 a day.
Okay. Well, that'll be a great start for you guys. Have you ever thought about getting in a women's program?
I've actually been in a couple women's programs down here. I went to the women's center on New Bern.
Okay.
And they gave me a case manager, and there was people talking to me about housing and about jobs, and then they gave me a list of different like locations I can go to get similar or if not better help and support.
Okay.
And they also fed, gave clothes. They did like Bible study there and different team things.
Did you follow through with any of those resources?
I tried, because when they gave me the paper with all the numbers and locations and stuff, I actually did some research on all of them and called them. A lot of them were either full or didn't take any more in or whatever.
Okay.
So they just left me on the waiting list and then never got back to me. So
I believe it's one called like Healing's Transition or something like that.
The women's HT. Yeah, I've been there.
Okay.
But
it's like a 90-day program, right?
Yeah, that's for like you have to like be there. You have to like stay there those 90 days.
Is that an option for you?
That's usually for like rehab and stuff, and I don't do that. I mean, I probably do need it as much as I smoke, but then again,
I could be wrong, but I heard it's for like anybody that needs help.
Well, unless that's a new program, but I haven't been there in like several months, so I wouldn't know. But I used to only go there for like the drop-in shelters to just sleep there, and then you leave early in the morning.
Yeah, I'll motivate you to try one of those women's facilities. Majority of them are like 90 days. Mm-hmm. So if you could complete the programs, if you could stay and do your thing for the 90 days, they'll go ahead and transition you maybe into a home or an apartment or things like that.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I heard about there's a lot of these small like 2-in-1 homes or whatever apartments that are currently being built, and I've overheard people talking about them, saying that those are the ones that are going to be used to get people transitioned into homes and out of homelessness, are going to be living in those.
Right.
And we used to have a caseworker through Oak City, and he would meet with us daily here, and we would go in, fill out paperwork about getting into different shelters and getting into different housing programs, and we filled out food and clothes vouchers, and sometimes he would meet us and just give us essential items we needed, blankets.
Right. So are y'all close to any of those resources, close to getting any of those resources?
I don't think currently that we are.
Okay.
But we're still trying out for the housing one. We're gonna probably do the I forgot the program, but I know there's a Section 8 housing, and you can fill out for a voucher and stuff, and they'll put a caseworker on your team, and you can they try to help you vouch for why you need to be there or in a home.
Right. Yeah, man, I'll motivate you to do that. I don't want to keep you too long. We've been going for quite a while now. It was good to get your story. You went through foster care until you was 18. You signed yourself out of that and tried to go live with your that you thought at the time was your biological father.
Yeah, I still don't know.
And that didn't work out. And now you're here in North Carolina, and you have a fiance.
Yep.
And you guys are currently homeless, going from house to house at the moment.
Yeah.
But you're trying to do better.
Yes.
All right. Well, if anybody wanted to contact you, help you out, do you have a way they can do that? You have any resources, social media sites, cash apps, anything like that?
I mean, I have my Cash App, but I don't know the name.
Yeah, go ahead and shout your Cash App out. You never know who might want to help you.
That's dollar sign.
I can see it. Turn it back around.
Dollar sign BADBA BBY.
So, let me see. Bad Baby 24.
Yes.
Baby with 2 B's.
Yes.
All right, Nina Wilson. That's the name it's gonna come up on. If anybody want to donate to her, you're more than welcome to. Her and her fiance is dealing with homelessness right now, but they're trying to find their way. All right, we appreciate you for doing this interview. God bless you.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
You too.